Hi, I'm Melissa Hall. I am a professional cat groomer. I am a Wall Animal Brand Ambassador, and I'm going to be doing a lion cut trim with a full tail on Boots the cat, who is a domestic long hair female, 4 years old. I'm going to be using 2 clippers to do this trim, Walls KM10 cordless and Walls Creativia with a 5-in-1 blade. I always begin my grooming with a nail trim. And Boots the cat here seems pretty okay with me trimming her nails. I trim both the front and the back nails. And I'm using a small nail trimmer from Ryan's Pet Supplies. She is a very sweet cat. I would classify her temperament as shy, compliant. But I really like Walls KM10 that I'm using there. I'm going to take the blade off. I really like that clipper, as well as Walls Creativia, and I'm going to use that clipper to begin her haircut. I begin at the tail and start with the grain, and I will go against the grain to define the line that I am making at the base of the tail. I typically start my lion cuts at the tail. That way, if the cat decides that it's not compliant, especially a cat I've never groomed before, I don't have to go home, send it home with a reverse mohawk per se, down the back. A little sanitary trim is all, but she seems to be okay. Want a nice flat surface for clipping around cat's genitals. And I'm using the 10 blade setting on this clipper. I really like the way this clipper is in my hand. It has a curve on it, and I can really see where I'm going. And as you can see, I'm going against the grain now. And I'm going to switch to Walls KM10, kind of show you how that clipper works through cutting hair as well. I pull back with my left hand and I clip with my right, because I am right-handed, but keeping the skin nice and tight. We want to clip flat surfaces. No wrinkles, and I want to get under the hair, making nice, big, smooth passes. Many groomers I see pros picking on cats, and even though cat skin is delicate, keeping the skin tight will really help. You cover more ground with a bigger pass. Cats have a turkey timer and do get annoyed with us, so we want to get the groom done fast, effective, and efficient. I've got about half of the body there done. I will go back over her after the bath, but I try to get a lot of the hair off pre-clipping. And then I will bathe her and dry her in my Caddyshack bag. I roll the skin. I try to get under them without moving them too much. You'll notice I use a metal table. I find this table I can maneuver the cats. When I had dog grooming tables, they could hold on to the table, and it made it harder for me to maneuver the cat. It makes handling harder, and I find cats do better on the metal table or a countertop type slick surface. And she's such a good cat. She's being very sweet. If I thought she was going to bite me, I could put her in the air muzzle. You saw me tap my clipper. I touch my clipper blades with my bare hand or the back of my wrist. I check them for being hot. I can switch blades out. It's important to have more than one blade around. But typically shaving takes me less than 10 minutes to complete a rough-in on a feline. And this is a rough-in trim. As I mentioned before, I will go back over her after I bathe her and get any hairs that are left behind. I pull her arm up so I can get under her little armpit. And then I roll the skin around. And I just keep her in her comfort position, and I make a nice straight line around her arm there in the front. If you're going for CFMG exams, you'll want to have nice straight clipper lines. I do not clip down cats' legs. It causes unnecessary stress, so unless matted, I leave the legs in that area. Right at the bend of the arm and underneath the arm, there's a little calic, and I will connect the lines to make a nice straight line. I can pull the skin up this way, so I'm not maneuvering her and keeping her arm up. Cat skin is not attached to the muscles, so we can move it around quite easily. And then I stop at where a collar would sit and leave a little collar line, a mane, a lion's mane. Many groomers often ask me, how do I get underneath, aka the hard parts, and I will demonstrate the belly and the back legs as well for you. As you noticed, I turned her around. I could get underneath her, move her around without having to pick her up. Going under her other arm, scooping out the armpits. That is a high prone mat area. The lion cut is the ultimate in mat removal and shedding relief. I bathe all my cats that come here. Everyone gets a bath. As you see, I pull the skin and rotate it around so I can get underneath there without necessarily having to pick her up over and over again. I find this often irritates cats the more we are maneuvering them and handling them, especially on the table. Going to clear the front of her leg. But if I shave down her legs all the way down, it would aggravate her. This is enough, just going right around and making a nice straight line. I like my grooming to look purposeful. See, as I stretch the skin, always having a flat surface to clip. And she's really good. So here's another way to get underneath without necessarily moving around. So I just hold her head with my hand. I could feel if she was going to open her mouth and nip. I could get my hand and arm out of the way. And I just make a nice straight line all the way around where a collar would sit. And I can kind of feel where my clipper naturally wants to stop, pick up the hair and just move it out of the way so I can see my little line real quick and get all the hair off the chest. They got a lot of little calyx on the chest. And she's doing really good. So I'm going to pick her up and get the belly. I'm going down with the grain, just whisking off the hair so I can see. And I pull up with my other arm so the skin is nice and tight on her belly, but her feet are on my table. I'm not dangling her in the air. Her feet are on my table. I support her with my other arm and the skin is stretched. She could scratch me, bite me in the face. I've done all kinds of crazy cats. If she wanted to get away, she could. The pet owner also expressed to me that bathing and lion cutting, she's hoping really helps with her allergies. So I find the back legs, these twisty rear legs, is an area that a lot of cats don't like to get. She's holding on to my table. I let her hold on. She likes to hold on. And I lift the leg gently and bend my head down to see in those legs. Many cats pee on these inside legs. It's a prone area for matting. Oftentimes the pet owner struggles to comb out and brush those areas. And I extend the legs so I have a nice flat surface. If you want to get under the legs another way too, go down with the grain, set it at my ankle, and I'll go against the grain to define the little line there. Just get any little hairs there, but that's away with her feet on the table supporting her. And she's just about done here, but I wanted to demonstrate for you a little bit of lap grooming on this other leg here. Many people ask me, many pros ask me how to get to this leg. I primarily teach professionals or those that want to groom cats professionally, and I groom in a salon environment, in a pet salon with no dogs in this room here. This is a dog-free cat grooming area. And now I can get in her little legs here, and she's letting me on my lap. Jackson Galaxy, the cat daddy, he often recommends to pet owners to brush your cat in their lap. If you own a cat, many of us that own cats that are really into cats, I find, we groom our cats on our laps. We'll hold them and brush them or comb them out. And they're used to being held. Many professionals come from a dog grooming background, so we wouldn't necessarily hold a dog on our lap. But a cat, a feline, is a completely different creature. If I thought she was going to bite me, I could put an e-collar on her head. And I can show you guys that. I could put a little green e-collar on her head, or if she was really, really, really bitey, I could go to the air muzzle, which is in a more enclosed muzzle with more bite protection. But I'm 5'9", so I tend to cross my legs so I can hold her on my lap. But if you have a shorter lap, you can extend your legs out, say on the bottom of a table or a shelf, so your lap is longer. And I'm just going to get in this back leg really quick, scoop out this hair, and get her done. She could scratch me. She could really be throwing a fit here if she didn't want me to be in here. But I'm going to really quickly get in these back twisty legs that they don't like us to get in, and just get the hair off really quick. And I see there's a little bit of hair here in this armpit, and I can see what I'm doing here without using a helper, somebody holding her down by the scruff. If she was held down by the scruff, I feel that would make stress more. And just laying here in my lap for this particular cat, grooming this way, is the least stressful for her. Just getting off anything else I see. I do a lot of lap grooming as well as grooming on the table. It just depends on the cat. I'm going to take her little e-collar off here. Pet her and check out her ruffin real quick. See what I got on the tummy. Looks pretty good. And we have a nice ruffin trim, and I'm going to get ready for her bath. Boots says, I'm not so sure about this bath. I'm not sure if Boots has ever had a bath. She's looking for my escape routes, but has decided that it's not so bad. I'm using a pet shampoo bar right now called Chubb's Bars, and the shampoo bar is inside a Chubby Saver bag. You can buy those at chubbsbarshampoo.com. You want to work up a really nice lather, so you make sure you get the cat completely wet. And if you're going for your CFMG exams, you're going to want to make sure you get around the head. Boots is a sweet girl. She says this isn't so bad after all. One of the things as a professional, you want to make sure that your tub and your cat areas that you are grooming in are escape proof. I do not groom with any restraints, leads, harnesses. no matter how fractious the cat may be. In fact, the more fractious they are, I find I do not need any restraints. Many cats like to be up against me too. I think Boots is still looking for possibly a way out. I want to get a good lather on her because the pet owner does suffer from allergies, so I want to get her nice and clean, and she did have some dandruff on her that was pretty significant. I have on my left hand a orange microfiber glove that I buy at the dollar store, and it really helps gently get rid of dandruff on the cat. I'm using Petway Pet Care Cat Shampoo as a finishing shampoo for Boots. I usually do 2 shampoos on my cats, depending on what's going on with the cat. And I want to get her nice and clean. And this is her final shampoo with Petway Pet Care. And you can buy that on Amazon. It's really nice. In fact, you can get that on Amazon and bathe your cats. It smells really nice. I also like Chris Christensen's Clean Start, as well as Le Pooch's Medicated for Dandruff. But she's a really sweet cat. And I'm going to begin rinsing her. And you really want to make sure that you rinse off all your product, leaving no shampoo or any product behind. Cats do lick themselves, so we really want to make sure that we rinse them well. I use warm water. I do have a water heater in my pet salon because no one likes to take a warm shower or a cold shower or cold bath, including cats. So my water is very warm. I'm in Arizona, so you often have to check our water, not for being too cold, but for being too hot, especially in the summer. If you've ever been to the Southwest, our water can be hard to get cold water here. So I'm rinsing her off, making sure that I have everything out of her face, everything rinsed off. I don't dilute my shampoos. I tend to use them straight and undiluted, but many products you can dilute them. Really want to get her feet rinsed out. I don't want to leave any shampoo product behind. And so I'm going to dry her. One of my helpful tips I want to tell you guys about drying is get yourself some microfiber towels. You can purchase microfiber towels really inexpensively on Amazon or at a hardware store like Home Depot or Lowe's. I usually start at the tail when I dry. I'm using a Caddyshack vac and a variable speed dryer, a Canine mini fluffer with variable speed. And I'm starting at the tail. I have a green e-collar on her head from Smart Practice, and she has a happy hoodie on to help block the noise. So I'm not entirely sure if Boots has ever been blow dried before or groomed, period. And she is 4 years old, and the pet owner did rescue her from a local shelter as a kitten, but her allergies were really becoming quite bad, and the vet recommended some sort of bathing, and she wanted a lion cut trim. I said, we'll see how Boots does, and so far Boots is doing really well. I find that feet are the thickest part of the hair, whether the cat is in coat or not, so the feet can take the longest to dry. I popped off my nozzle so that it wouldn't be as intense, but she seems to be relaxing. And so I'm going to put it back on because I want this process to move quickly, fast, and efficiently for Boots. Cats, like I said, do have a turkey timer, and as a professional, we want to finish this fast. So now that she is all dry, I'm just going to go over any last little hair bits I see sticking out, any fuzzy wuzzies that are left, which is not much. And I really like Wahl's Creativia 5-in-1 clipper. Wahl Bravura works nice as well. Any of Wahl's 5-in-1 clippers work really nice on finishing work, any little hairs that may be left over after the groom. And this clipper doesn't really get hot. It takes quite a long time to heat up. You see that there's just a little bit of those fuzzies, but check them out. I got quite a bit of hair there. So after I do bathe them and dry them, I get any little bits of hair that may be fluffed or sticking out. And she's being a good girl. Just get around her little neck and make sure everything is nice and clean. The hair grows back nicer too when the lines are straight and crisp. And like I said, if you're going for your CFMG exams, you're going to want to practice. If you have any of your good kitties, practice getting nice straight lines on those guys. I often talk my owners into this lion cut variation, which is leaving the full tail. The tail takes the longest to grow back when shaved into a pom-pom. On certain breeds, like a Persian or Siberian, it can take up to a year to fully grow back, where you don't see the pom-pom line. Just going to get under her cat. But there, make sure I get any last little hairs that may be sticking out. And she could turn around and get me. She has all her teeth and claws. She's actually a very good, sweet girl. Once I get all the little fuzzies and hair all cleaned off, I will do a final comb out on her and comb out her legs, her little lion mane and tail, and do a final wipe of her face. And I like to do my final face wipe with saline solution on a cotton ball. And I buy saline solution at Walmart, just to wipe any little hairs out of their face and eyes, any little eye boogers. And I'm using a cat comb from Utsumi just to comb out any little hairs. And as you can see, there is the finished lion cut trim with bath and blow dry. You can contact me at catgroomingteacher.com. Thank you.